everyone. Welcome to the special program with His Grace Arjun Sakha Prabhu. Thank you, Nandvinodini Mataji, Amrita Mataji, for the beautiful kirtan. Now, let us welcome Arjun Sakha Prabhu. Prabhu has been talking about the 13 upper Sampradayas, and today is the part 3 of it. In yesterday's class, Prabhu spoke about 3 such Sampradayas. Smartha Brahmanas, who think only Brahmanas can give initiation and only Brahmanas can become Brahmanas. Aula, only females can give knowledge and initiation. Sahajiyas, who believe everything should come early, come easy, and don't believe in austerity and discipline. Today we will listen more about such upper Sampradayas. It really makes us wonder how such people can be there, but they are there. So we are going to be mesmerized by more such pastimes from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stories and his associates. We listen. We are so grateful Prabhu is here with us. Let us welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
It came once, and I don't know why, it just went back, and then now I'm connecting, it should come in. It happened yesterday also.
No, we never changed anything. It worked actually. So. Oh, and so you're connected to the power supply, right?
Yeah.
Usually power supply should be on. No signal.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let's do
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
You want to try this? You want to try this?
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Huh? Windows ki? P.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premananda ki Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. It's good to have a tech expert in the congregation. Thank you for being here. This is part 3 of our discussions on 13 deviations or the 13 upper Sampradayas that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given, Srila Prabhupada has given through his purports, and we also said how Tota Ramdas Babaji, whom Srila Prabhupada quotes in his purports, also elaborates on the same point. So as we are doing, let's start with the verse and then get started in our today's discussion. Kindly chant along. Aula baula karta bhaja neda daravesha sai. Aula baula Sahajiya sakhi beki smarta jata gosai. Sahajiya sakhi Ate Bade Chudadhare Gauranga Nagare. All together. Tota kahe e terar sang nahi kare. These are the 13 deviations. E terara, tera, like we say in Hindi. E terara sang nahi kare. Don't associate with these 13. So what all we have done till now, we started with Jata Gosai on the second line. Jata Gosai, who can quickly tell me what was Jata Gosai? Jati Gosai. By DNA-based parampara. Those who say that you can become Goswami only by being born in a Goswami family, which is not in line with what Gauranga Mahaprabhu preached. Then we spoke about Smarta or Smarta Brahmanas. Again, pretty much on the same line, who speak on the ideology that Brahmanas are Brahmanas only by birth, and only a Brahmana can initiate another Brahmana, which is again not in line with what Mahaprabhu gave, and definitely not in line with what Srila Prabhupada preached. Then we saw Aula, the very first. What was Aula? Knowledge comes from women. Initiations are also given by Matajis. So it's the first one, Jati Gosai, was nepotism. This is feminism. So all isms are there here. So Aulas are those category who say knowledge comes only through Matajis, and Diksha is also given only by Matajis. So they take female Diksha Guru really far ahead. Then we discussed Sahajiyas, very hot topic, very popular topic, and Prabhupada oftentimes in his purport he writes Prakrita Sahajiyas. And we spoke about Sahajiya also. What does the word Sahaja mean? Easy. So Sahajiyas are those people who want everything easy. Less austerity, less discipline, no sadhana, but you want the highest fruit, discussing and practicing Raganuga Bhakti and all those things with practically no sadhana. Sahaja means easy. Those who want easy. No sadhana, kuch nahi karenge, lekin phal meetha chahiye. It only happens in dreams, doesn't happen in reality. Those are the four we saw. Jat Gosai, Smarta Brahmana, Aula and Sahajiya. We will proceed ahead. Now we go to our fifth. I'm going slide by slide so you can also do like a quick recap. These photos were not there yesterday because of some internet issue. So it's clearly an AI thing. It's good. AI is evolving and we can use for our preaching also. All right, now we go ahead to Baula. So we said something yesterday. I know the photo is very interesting. That's why we had it here. Yesterday, if you remember, we said these four are on one category. Aula, Baula, Daravesh and Sai. These four are on one category. All four form a group. And they are on a progressive category in the sense it is like Kanishta Madhyam Uttam. Aulas are like Kanishta, Baulas are one level higher, and then it goes forward. So this is the second category called as Baula. Can someone read the first line?
Baula, origin and history. The word Baula comes from the Sanskrit word Vatula, or mad. In the previous verse, the word Bauli was used in this sense. It may also be related to the word Vyakula, which means impatiently eager.
So the word Baula comes from the word Vatula or mad. And it says the word Bauli was used in the similar sense in the previous verse. What was the previous verse? Let's go back. Now if you see here, when we were talking about Aula and Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the second line, it says Bauli hai Krishna pasedhaya. Jeb benu kaladhvani eka bharataha shuni jagannari chitaulaya nibi banda pore khasi bina mole hayadasi Bauli Hare Krishna Pasidhaya. So here the word Bauli has been used. And here the word Bauli doesn't refer to an upper sampradaya. It refers to being spiritually mad. Here the gopis are being addressed as those personalities who by hearing the flute of Krishna, they go completely crazy. And we see that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that the gopis of Vrindavan, when they heard Krishna's flute in the middle of the night, on the night of Sharadiya Ras Purnima, Krishna plays the flute. And the gopis practically forget everything, and in the middle of the night they run towards Krishna. And it's all topsy-turvy. Bhagavatam explains what the lipstick that is meant as a lipstick becomes an eyeliner. What is meant as an eyeliner becomes something else. And it's all topsy-turvy. Why? Because they have lost the frame of reference just by hearing the flute of Krishna. One flute sound makes them forget everything. They leave their homes, they leave their families, they leave their husbands, they leave everything behind just by hearing one flute sound. And they come to Krishna. Krishna's flute playing is an invitation. They come to Krishna. And when Krishna sees them, Krishna looks at them and says, "What are you doing here? Just go back. Just go back. What are you doing? It's middle of the night. Go back. What will people think? Just go back." And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there he comments in his Sarartha Darshini, he says, the gopis started looking at each other, thinking, is he joking? He just called us. He just played the flute, and we have come here, and he's saying, just go back. At that time, Krishna was pressing on this point that you should go. You should not stay here. You have your families. You have your husbands. You should go back. At that time, Srimati Radharani looks at Krishna and she says, "My dear Krishna, I have a question for you." Krishna says, "Yes, what's the question?" Srimati Radharani says, "My question is, which husband did you serve when you became a lady? You're giving a grahastha class to us. When you became a lady, which husband did you serve?" Krishna says, "What do you mean?" Radharani says, "When you became Mohini Murti, which husband did you serve? Where did the grahastha ashram go that time? You're giving grahastha class to us. When you became lady, tab kya hua?" And that Krishna who effortlessly speaks the Bhagavad Gita now is falling short of words. Bolti band. जो भगवान है उनकी भी बोलती बंद हो जाती है ब्रजमंडल में. And then of course the rasa dance happens on the night of Sharad Purnima. So here the word Bauli is not an upper sampradaya. It refers to mad. Just like in the first line yesterday we spoke about the word aula. So those who are upper sampradaya, they use Chaitanya Charitamrita as a reference to support their upper sampradaya. But we as Gaudiyas understand from the purpose of Prabhupada that here the word may be same but the context is different. So we proceed ahead. Yes, can someone read the second point? Anyone, quickly.
Often keep long hair in a bun on top of their heads and wear the gown of a Muslim fakir with
Shaivite
Rudraksha beads, the glass worry beads of a Muslim, and the tilak and the japamala of Vaishnava all simultaneously. They are usually bearded and carry a shoulder bag, a bamboo walking cane.
Full on khichdi. They are Shaivite beads are also there. Muslim fakir dress is also there. Gaudiya tilak is also there. So it's like full on khichdi. And it's pretty evident when you see someone like this, you understand it is not in line with Mahaprabhu. So if you remember, we said there are upper sampradayas that are internal, like Jati, Gosai, Smarta, etc. And then there are upper sampradayas that are external, which just by the looks of it, you understand this is not what Mahaprabhu preached. In the 1970s, the disciples of Prabhupada were doing book distribution. As Srila Prabhupada said, this book distribution is very dear to him. So they were doing book distribution. And at one point, they wanted to distribute books in the malls. So they started going to the malls and started distributing books. And they were going in dhoti and kurta. But the mall people realized that these devotees are coming inside the mall and their sales are higher than our sales. So some problem is there. So they kicked out the devotees. Prabhupada disciples are amazing. You remember we spoke about the Melbourne pastime, how by Nam Sankirtan they went to jail. And again here, they were ready to go to any extreme to please Prabhupada. Chahe jo ho jaye, prachar karenge. So they were kicked out from the mall. But devotees are very intelligent. They will not stop here. They again came back in normal Western clothes, but to distribute books. They again came back, and again they started distributing books. Now, one disciple of Prabhupada, I will not name because he's a very popular name in our movement, so I will not name. When he saw this, he felt we should be wearing dhoti and kurta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached Vaishnava attire, we should be wearing dhoti and kurta. So he and a few other devotees, they started wearing dhoti and kurta, and they started distributing books on the streets of America. And their numbers were also very good. So he wrote a letter to Prabhupada saying, Prabhupada, such and such thing happened, and I felt, looking at you, you're always in a Vaishnava attire, so I felt we should also be in a Vaishnava attire, and we are now wearing dhoti and kurta, and our sales are very good. So now he wrote a letter to Prabhupada, and he thought Prabhupada will be very happy. Shabashi denge. Prabhupada will be very pleased that good, you didn't compromise, good, you wear dhoti and kurta. Prabhupada wrote a letter in response. Prabhupada said, that's okay. And then Prabhupada wrote, if you're not comfortable in Western clothes, you can wear dhoti and kurta. Complete opposite. He thought he will get praise because he is following dhoti and kurta and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada wrote, it's okay. If you're not comfortable in Western attire, you can wear dhoti kurta. Bazi palat gaya. So then in his memories, he says, I realized this mood of Prabhupada, that Prabhupada's main intention was to preach. And Kala Desha Patra, he was ready to adjust time, place, circumstance. If for preaching, you have to change your attire. If it's like, for example, a university program or a corporate event. In a corporate event, you will not be able to connect with the audience if you go in dhoti and kurta. So time, place, circumstance, you wear a Western attire so that you can preach the higher principle of Prema Pumarto Mahan. So very humbly he presents himself where Prabhupada won and he lost. But that's the point. Oftentimes people are a little rigid that you should be only in Vaishnava attire and not in Karmi clothes. But Prabhupada's mood was, if you can wear Vaishnava clothes, great. But for preaching, that's the only concession. For preaching, if you have to wear Western attire, go for it. But don't stop preaching. Prabhupada gave the same message to even Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, who was known for his scientific preaching. He would meet the scientists, and now to meet the scientist, he cannot go in a Tridandi sannyasi form. The scientist will not have a conversation. So Prabhupada told him, when you meet the scientist, when you have a conference, go in suit, tie, wear a proper coat. Go like them, like a gentleman, and then preach the message. And once they're convinced, get them to saffron. Do it the other way around. But don't press upon, don't be heavy on them in the first meeting, because first impression is the last impression. When a person walks into the temple, if we are very forceful on them, then probably they're never going to come back. Oftentimes it so happens that in the mood of preaching, we get so overwhelmed and so ecstatic that whatever we have learned in 20 years of our movement, in the first 15 minutes we download it. Full Veda base gets downloaded on the person on a Sunday feast, and you'll be thinking, my goodness. So Prabhupada would say preaching is an art. Kab, kaha, kitna bolna hai is an art. We don't gulp down the whole philosophy to a person who walks in. We give little by little by little, just like when we joined, it was given little by little. Not that we just gulp it down. So why are we speaking about dress and attire? Because the baulas who are there are a little weird, because they have a Muslim fakir dress, like a long gown, but they have a japamala of a Vaishnav, they have a tilak, they have a shoulder bag, walking bamboo cane, and some other Muslim thing, some Shaiva at Rudraksha bead. So it's like full mixture. It's a full mixture. So just from the looks of it, you understand this is definitely not in line with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can someone read the third point for me? Third one.
The balls being folk musicians exert an extraordinary influence upon Bengali culture. They were patronized, but no less than Rabindranath Tagore.
So the bowls became popular by Rabindranath Tagore. The bowls are actually, they have a lot of Sufism in them. You have heard of Sufi music? So Sufis are meant for their very good singing ability. Sufism is a part of Islam. And they are known for their music ability, musical expertise. So these people who have their origin in Sufism get attracted to Mahaprabhu's Nam Sankirtan because there is music. And the Sufism easily blends. As the devotees are doing Nam Sankirtan, these Sufi people also join them and start dumping and dancing as if they're Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but they don't have their origin in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. They have their origin in Sufism, but now music is what brings them together. The common ground is music. Sufism and our Gaudiya also is a lot of music, Nam Sankirtan. Through Sufism they come. So the bowls are known for their singing. If you go to YouTube also, if you put in bowls of Bengal, you will have lots of videos. And they're a little funny, like, in Western world you have the opera music. So bowls are also like that. Oh, like very unique style of presentation. They will have their instruments and everything. And Rabindranath Tagore really popularized their presence. The bowls move from one place to another, perform music, smoke hemp, and look for women, which is again, all the four anarthas are there. All the no's are here. Thank you for summarizing that point. All the no's are here. Now, interestingly, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, there is one personality who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down. Who is he? Who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down? Advaita Acharya, yes. There is only one answer, so we can be confident. Sometimes when questions are asked, we wait for the other devotee to answer. The other devotee says, Advaita Acharya, Advaita Acharya. It's old habits die hard. We did that in school also. I remember when I was in school, I was never someone who would sit like in the first or second bench, maybe somewhere in between. And when a teacher would ask something, now even if you don't know the answer, you would want to pretend you know. So you wait for that topper to put his hand up. And when the topper puts his hand up, then you will also put your hand up. And you're confident that he knows the answer and the teacher will not come to you. So on the pretext of the topper, you also put your hand up. Or sometimes someone ahead of you puts your hand up and you also put your hand up like this. It's like tatastha, not full, not half. So Advaita Acharya was the personality who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down. Tulasi dala matrena jalasya chulukenava vikridita sva atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. The Gautamiya Tantra explains that anyone who worships a shaligram with Ganga water and tulasi leaves, Krishna sells himself to that person. Bhagavan bik jate hain. The words used are Krishna sells himself. Tulasi dala matrena jalasya chulukenava. Little tulasi leaves and Ganga water. So Advaita Acharya saw that verse and he thought, this is the best way to get the Lord down. He had a shaligram. He had a Narsingha shaligram. He started worshipping the Narsingha shaligram, Ganga water, tulsi leaves. He had to get the Supreme Lord down. The Supreme Lord came down as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As the Supreme Lord came down, he was very beautiful, Nimai. Very, very effulgent. Nimai's older brother was Vishwarup. Now Vishwarup was a student of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya also goes by the name Sitanath. Why? Because he is the husband of Sita Thakurani. He is called as Sitanath. Vishwarup, that is the older brother of Nimai, would go to study to Advaita Acharya. And young Nimai would, every day in the afternoon, he would come to call his older brother home for lunch. So when Vishwarup would be studying grammar and Vyakran and all those things, Nimai would go, and in front of everyone he would say, Bhaiya, it's time for lunch, please come home. Sachimata is calling us. And Nimai was so effulgent. That moment he walked in, all the eyes of all the audience was just at that one person. It happens, right? Sometimes if suppose some very big dignitary, someone walks in, then automatically all the eyes go there. It's just a natural tendency. And you can imagine Nimai, who was golden in complexion, and Mother Sachi would just put like a kopin for him, just like Mother Yashoda would put for Krishna. Just one kopin. And it's explained that Mother Yashoda would put this kopin for Krishna, and she would put a waist belt. And Krishna was so small, when Krishna would walk, the waist belt would make sound, ching, ching, ching. And Krishna being so small, he would not know where it's coming from. He would look behind. He would think someone is following him. And he would walk a couple of steps, again look back. Hey, where is the sound coming from? And Sachi Mata, being not different from Mother Yashoda, would do the same for Nimai. And Nimai would walk, and there would be the same sound, and he would look back, not able to find anyone. So Nimai would go, and Advaita Acharya, when he saw Nimai, every single day he was completely captivated. Because Nimai was that beautiful. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is explained, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Prayag, and when he was dancing in Prayag, it was like a golden volcano that had erupted. All the eyes were completely locked onto this personality. He was 7 foot tall. His hands were ajanulambita buddha. It was going below the knees. He was golden in complexion, and when he would lift his arms, which is already long, in Hindi we say, कानून के हाथ लंबे होते. The real हाथ लंबा होना है Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Bhagavat starts with this verse, Ajanu Lambita Buddha. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arms are very long. You know, one of the 32 symptoms of a Mahapurush, very advanced person, is their hands go below the knee while standing. I'll put that disclaimer also. Some are already checking. Prabhuji, I didn't know, I am also one of them. So I'll put that asterisk while standing. If it goes, that's one of the symptoms. But just so that you have it, doesn't really mean you're a Mahapurush. You should have some other qualities also. This is one of the symptoms. I'm pretty sure after the class, when we get up, we are going to do some checking. Oh, Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Ajanulambita Buddha. And when he was there in Prayag, it's explained, when he would dance, he was so beautiful. Ganga Jamuna Prayag Narila Dubaite Prabhu Dubaila Krishna Premera Vanyayete. Ganga Jamuna Prayag Narila Dubaite. Ganga, Yamuna, all coming together, could not drown the entire city, but Prabhu Dubaila Krishna Premera Vanyayate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, through his Nam Sankirtan, was drowning everyone in Krishna Prema. But Ganga and Jamuna could not do. Kanchana Sadrusha Deha Aruna Vasan Pulakashru Kampaswera Tahate Bhushan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Kanchana Sadrusha. His complexion was golden. Aruna Vasan, his cloth was orangish, saffron. Pulaka, his hair was standing on end. Like Narottam Das Thakur says, Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira, Hari Hari bolite nayane babe nira. When will that day come when I chant Gauranga, Gauranga? Tears flow from my eyes and my hair stands on end. Pulaka shru. Tears were flowing from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ears. Tahate bhushan. He was sweating, but his sweat were like beads of perspiration. They were not looking bad on him. They were adding to his beauty. Tahate bhushan. They were adding to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beauty. When we sweat, we look terrible. But when Mahaprabhu sweats, that sweat also is a addition to his beauty. Uddhava in the 3rd canto, he says, Parampadam bhushana bhushanangam. In this world, the ornament beautifies the person, correct? When someone wears an ornament, the ornament beautifies the person. But for Krishna, Parampadam bhushana bhushanangam, the ornaments don't ornament Krishna. Krishna ornaments the ornaments. Uddhava says. The ornaments, their level increases, their glory increases by being on the body of Krishna. Parampadam bhushana bhushanangam. Srila Rup Goswami writes that when in Vrindavan, when Krishna saw a mirror for the first time, not like the mirrors that we have now, because probably this wasn't there, but pillars that were like reflecting. So when Krishna saw something like that for the first time, he looked and he was mesmerized. Who is this person who is so beautiful? He looks so beautiful, not knowing it is him. Krishna goes behind the pillar to see who's the person. And Krishna doesn't find anyone. And Krishna says, hey, you're hiding from me? When I'm coming here, you are there in front of me, but when I come behind the pillar, you're not there, but you look very beautiful. Who are you? Rupa Goswami says, all glories to that Krishna who gets captivated by his own beauty. You can imagine, if the Lord gets captivated by his own beauty, what will happen when he comes sakshat in front of us? Unimaginable. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very beautiful. And so is Krishna. In the land of Vrindavan, one time Krishna was there with Srimati Radharani. And Krishna was glorifying Srimati Radharani. And Krishna was saying, hey Radhe, your nails are like Chandra, they are like the moon. Your eyes are like Chandra, they are like the moon. Your every limb, they are like Chandra, they are like the moon. Or Srimati Radharani, your face is like a full moon. Srimati Radharani stopped him and she said, Acha, all this while you are going to Chandravali, now in my presence also you remember Chandravali. Krishna said, what kind of love is this? I am glorifying and Hare Krishna. So we find that supreme beauty of Srimati Radharani comes in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he becomes the most beautiful and the most compassionate and the most magnanimous. Like Gaur Govinda Maharaj would say, Adbhuta Madhurya, Adbhuta Audarya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't take any offense. Krishna takes a lot of offenses. Krishna is very difficult to deal with. Holy name, 10 offenses. Deity worship, 32 offenses. Numbers only keep increasing. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no offenses. Anyone who comes in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, the Supreme Lord, is ready to accept them. But he is not ready to accept those who do not follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who do not follow the regulative principles. The mode of a devotee is, we don't want to be beautiful. We want to beautify the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada would say, what's the purpose of deity worship? When someone keeps worshipping the deities and someone keeps decorating the deities constantly, the desire to decorate ourselves diminishes. The more we serve the deities, the more we decorate the Supreme Lord, the more the desire that I should look beautiful goes down. And if this keeps increasing, there is a mismatch. Prabhupada was uncompromising. He would present it as it is. But this attire that is there is not, at least not Gaudiya. Let's put it that way. Oh, before we go here, this came to my mind. Srila Prabhupada was there in 26 2nd Avenue. And this was the early days. So when Prabhupada was giving a class, many people were there. And that was the time of LSD. So we're talking about hemp and all those things. That was the time of LSD. And Prabhupada was giving Bhagavad Gita class, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The person was there. Prabhupada finished the class. Prabhupada said, yes, any questions? One person got up. And he was full high on LSD. And he looked at Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, what is Vaikunta? Now, how can you explain Vaikunta to someone who is already on an easy journey to other planets? Someone who is already easy journey to other planets. Kya bolenge Vaikunta kya hai? Prabhupada looked at him and said, Vaikunta, it's an ocean of LSD. So he got very happy. Oh, that what I'm getting here, I will get there also. Okay, let me practice. And then he ended up becoming devotee also. So Prabhupada had this knack of how to present what to what person at what time. Because that's not a time we give Bhagavatam class as to what is Vaikunta. That is not some Ishopanishad class, Shri Suktam, Purusha Suktam. He is already on some journey. So we find in this earlier start of ISKCON also, there were different people who were there, but Prabhupada very beautifully by his sadhutva and his mercy and his purity was able to transform. Before we go to the first part, we'll go to the second part. Now, if you remember, we were talking about Advaita Acharya. That's where the conversation began. Advaita Acharya is that personality who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performs his pastimes. He starts spreading love of Godhead. Advaita Acharya gets him down. Gadadhar fans the spark. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts exploding like a volcano. Krishna Prem has started spreading everywhere. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu receives a letter. And that letter comes through Jagadananda Pandit. So Jagadananda Pandit was not the person who wrote the letter. He was like a parrot who gave it from one person to another person. One person wrote it and gave it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What was the letter? This was the letter. Please kindly repeat. Baula ke kahiya loka haila baula. Baula ke kahiya haite nabikaye chaula. Baula ke kahiya kahe nahi kaula. Baula ke kahiya iha kahiya che baula. Full verse only baula, right? And again Chaitanya Charitamrita. So you see Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is why Prabhupada said it is postdoc study, because if we randomly pick, we will end up in some other sampradaya, not knowing where it is going. This was written by Advaita Acharya to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it was on purpose written such that no one understands it. It was a indication to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that only Jagadananda Pandit understood and Mahaprabhu understands. What is Advaita Acharya writing? Baula ki kahiya loka haila baula. He tells Jagadananda Pandit, go and tell that baula, addressing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hey, wait a minute. Baula is Apa Sampradaya, right? Advaita Acharya is calling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu openly baula. Is it aparad? Advaita Acharya says, go and tell that baula, loka haila baula. Go and tell that baula, people have also become baula. What does it mean? He is addressing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as baula, but here the word baula means a mad person. Go and tell that spiritually mad person that people have also become spiritually mad like him. Baula kahiye loka haila baula. Go and tell that mad person spiritually that people have also become spiritually eccentric like him. Baula ke kahiya haite na bikaye chaula. And go and also tell him that the marketplace is full, no one wants to purchase rice. Wait a minute, where does rice come from here? Isn't it a very cryptic message? Kya chal kya raha hai? One person is writing to other person, calling him baula, calling him mad person. All of the middle he says, go and tell him in marketplace there is no rice. It's very cryptic. What is going on here? What is Advaita Acharya wanting to say? Advaita Acharya is telling the Lord that the marketplace of Krishna Prem is full. There are no more buyers for the rice called Krishna Prem. Oh Baula, please understand, it's time for you to wrap up your pastimes. You have already flooded the marketplace with all the Baulas. It doesn't refer to the Apa Sampradaya here, it refers to mad people, spiritually mad. You have made them spiritually mad, the market is full, sabko rice mil gaya hai, all have got chaula, it's time for you to wrap up. He called Mahaprabhu down and he gives a cryptic message to Mahaprabhu, it's time, don't stay more, your job is done, go back. Devotees are interesting, they get the Lord down and then they challenge the Lord, oh time ho gaya, nikal jao. My goodness. The phone got ecstatic. Second line. Baula ke kahiya kahe nahi ka aula. Baula ke kahiya che baula. Go, now he says, now go and tell the baula, that is again Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that everyone, kahe nahi ka aula, that everyone is spiritually nourished. Everyone has spiritually got the essence of life. And Baula ki kaiya iha kaiya che Baula. Go and tell that Baula that this message was given by another Baula. Last line. When Jagadananda Pandit saw this, he started laughing because he understood. He didn't need Bhaktivedanta purport. He understood. It's a cryptic message, right? When we read it, what's going on? So now those who are Baulas, they keep Advaita Acharya as their pedestal. Why? Because they say, oh look, he calls himself Baula, he calls Mahaprabhu Baula, which means the aim of human life is to become Baula. This is Apasampradaya. If not for Srila Prabhupada, who would have taught us? We don't know Bangla. At least I don't know Bengali. And if we don't know Bengali, we will not read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Who will tell us what it means at what time, in what context? So again, as we discussed in Aula, those who are not in the Sampradaya will use verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita to state, look, here also Aula and Baula are used, like this verse. But those who are Gaudiyas understand the context is different. Now we come to the first part, Baula Sangeet. Baula Sangeet is a collection of 12 songs by Chanda Baul written in 1893, describing the deceptive philosophy of the Baulas. Those attracted to Bauls can be brought to the pure line of Sri Chaitanya. Make sense? Can I tell you something interesting? If you see the first line, it says Baula Sangeet is a collection of 12 songs written by Chanda Baul. Right? Ready? Can I tell you something interesting? Do you know who the Chanda Baul is? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes a book and keeps a book name or a pen name as Chanda Baul, which is not his real name. He keeps on purpose Chanda Baul and writes 12 songs to expose the Baul concept and presents a philosophy so that the Bauls will think, oh, one of our people has written a book, let's study. Our God Brothers has written. Our Baul God Brothers has written, let's study his book. But internally, it's the pure, unadulterated line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he wrote 12 songs. If you go to KK songs, you will find Baul Sangeet. But it's not to be sung on a Sunday feast. It is to expose those who are Baulas. But you can see he writes 12 songs, begging and beseeching them that what you're following is not what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. So look at Bhaktivinoda Thakur. A grahastha, a magistrate, writes Vaishnava songs, writes books, has a family, has children. Of the children, couple of them were sannyasis. One ends up becoming Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. And on top of that, he doesn't stop here. He exposes Apasampradayas also. He illuminates Apasampradayas also. Writes 12 songs to help them also. How much can a grahastha do? This is height of... Y'all, let's be honest, dear devotees. Y'all know it better than me. Y'all have been grahasthas for a longer time. Y'all know how difficult it is to have family and children and 9 to 5 IT job and then practice bhakti. It's difficult. Let's be honest. And look at Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's not that Bhaktivinoda Thakur was just Bhajananandi. He was not like Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj. He was someone whom we can fully resonate because he was doing the same work that we do. And on top of that, he had a unimaginable sadhana. Like normally on Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance and disappearance, you get WhatsApp forwards of his sadhana, right? It's a classic. Every year, appearance, disappearance, you'll get a forward. He gets up at 2 a.m., he sleeps at 10 p.m., he eats 1 chapati or 2 chapatis or whatever. And even if you forget the appearance, disappearance, if you get it in the morning, you understand today something about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he, in 1893, amidst all of this that is going on, single-handedly fights. And there is no Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu has left this world. Single-handedly, lone warrior, he fights to expose these Baulas. So he has a book name called as Chanda Baul. And he gives the name Baul Sangeet. So you can go to KK songs and you can see what he has given. Even if you don't memorize it, it's okay. That is not our Gaudiya Dhara. Now we go ahead. Something little familiar? It's written S-A-N-E, S-A-N-I. N is silent. It is pronounced Sai. I can already see many are like, oh, wow, I didn't know this is also part of the 13. To be honest, even I didn't know till the time I did my research. When I was doing my research, I saw so many Prabhupada disciples have written articles, and Prabhupada has written articles on this point. I will not elaborate here much because it's a little sensitive topic, so I don't want to be dukti nas pe haath nahi rakhna hai. But you got what the point here is. So I will quickly read some of the points. The word Sai comes from the word Swami. The group is more commonly known as Sai. They are mendicants who wander about without following a rigid path, having supposedly renounced all external designations. The language that's used here is not mine, but these are by Prabhupada disciples, and they have been verified by the GBC. So that's the Praman. So I am not using my language. I want to make that also clear. They are verified by our governing body commission. Governing body commission, right? GBC, yes. Shirdi Sai Baba is a rather well-known example of this type. Followers of the famous Satya Sai Baba of Puttaparthi in Andhra Pradesh claim that he is the same Shirdi Sai reincarnated. The Sais are the freebooters of this tradition. They are supposedly liberated from all material conceptions and thus may appear in any kind of dress, Hindu sannyasi or a Muslim fakir, or no dress at all. The common people superstitiously think Sais to be powerful healers. This last line I have heard from many as to how they get attracted, as to how he is very strong in healing. I have, in my family itself, little on the extended side, I know some relatives who have told me that the Sai Baba who's there from Andhra Pradesh, the south, Puttaparthi Sai Baba, from his photo, Kungum keeps falling. So I don't know how truthful it is, but she said it with utmost confidence that even now, Kungum keeps falling from the photo. So I would not doubt it, to be honest, because Yog Siddhi can be attained by people. We are not denying. Can they do it? Maybe yes. Yog Siddhi is very much possible. And we find that Anima, Mahima, Laghima, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu explains, these are Yog Siddhis. And if you see the journey home also, Srila Radhanath Maharaj explains when he was there in the Himalayas, he found so many yogis who were out of material conception. So do such people exist? 100%. Those who can achieve material siddhi. But the pure line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Gaudiya Dhara, is we don't believe in magic. We are not here to see magic because we can get magic shows also. If you go to YouTube, you will have David Blaine. And from India, you had PC Sarkar. You have magicians. So even magicians can do that. I remember Prabhupada gives this example that PC Sarkar was so good, he made the Taj Mahal vanish. Right? Have you heard one class Prabhupada says? He was so good, in front of the Britishers, he made Taj Mahal vanish. How is that possible? Well, it's possible. Magicians, they can probably do anything. But the point is, magic and purity are different. They don't walk on the same path. If someone is good at magic, they are good magicians. But that has nothing to do with the pure line that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. Prabhupada was once there in a magic show. Prabhupada was also very appreciative of magic. He was there in a magic show, nice auditorium. And the magician was doing nice magic. And Prabhupada was clapping and laughing. He was hitting on the thigh. And he really loved the magic show. So that person came to Prabhupada after the show. And he offered obeisances. Prabhupada said, very good, very excellent magic show. I really loved it. So that magician, he looked at Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, you are a better magician. Prabhupada said, me? No, I don't know anything about magic. I don't know anything about magic. He said, no, Swamiji, you are a better magician. Prabhupada said, how? That magician said, I can just vanish things from here to there. But really, I don't vanish them. It's just an eye wash. But you are so pure that you can vanish the repeated cycle of birth and death of all your disciples. You are the bigger magician. Srila Prabhupada ki. Prabhupada said, that is correct. Prabhupada didn't say, he would not compromise. Yes, that is correct. Because that is true. One time, one reporter, he came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was there in his room and he came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, is this your last life? He openly asked Prabhupada. No, that's not something that disciples would ask Prabhupada. Likewise, it's not something that we ask our Gurudev because we are scared. It's a gray area. It's a no-no. But someone who's from outside, they have no concept. They will straight away go and ask. He came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, is it your last life? Prabhupada said, what to speak of me? It's the last life for my disciples also. He said, it's the last life for my disciples also. So Prabhupada was a greater magician because he could end the cycle of birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Iha samsare bahudustare kripaya pahi pahi murare bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudamate. Govinda, Govinda. It's an uddipan, right? The moment you hear Romancha Kampa Shrutaranga Bajo. The moment we hear. But that's what Shankaracharya says. Again and again we take birth, again and again we die, again and again we enter mother's womb. But only a sadhu has the ability to enlighten and give the right path by which we can end the cycle of repeated birth and death. No one else can do it. Not even a magician, only a sadhu can do it. This is why Gaur Govinda Maharaj would say, find a sadhu guru in your life. Find a guru who is sadhu and surrender your head, your life at his lotus feet. So we find that our mool mantra, our understanding is we are not too much into magic or pulling out gold chains or gold balls or etc., which is good yog siddhi. But we are more behind those who have purity. It's very interesting that one time there was a marriage procession that was going and two palanquins were going, one after another. And in one was the boy and another was the girl. And they were just about to get married. And at one point the palanquin stops and the boy gets down to drink water. And as he gets down to drink water, he hears something. From a nearby kutir, a person was saying, oh, he doesn't realize he's getting married. You understood after that. Even before I could end, there was a smile. You understood. He is getting married. He doesn't understand. His bhakti will be difficult. Let's put it that way. His bhakti will be a little difficult in comparison to the brahmacharis who are like 100% sold out. And imagine this boy is getting married and he hears this. He goes to the kutir of that sadhu and says, what did you just say? And why would you say that? And that sadhu started enlightening. What he enlightened, you know better than me. So I will not get into that. But he enlightened. That sadhu was Srinivas Acharya. Who is Srinivas Acharya? He is that personality who wrote, Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Tyaktva Turnamashesha Mandalapati Shrenim Sada Tuchhavat. It was Srinivas Acharya who wrote it. So Srinivas Acharya said this and the boy heard it. And he was so inspired by the presence and the talk of Srinivas Acharya that he went back to the girl and said, I'm sorry. I just heard a nice Bhagavatam class and seems like it's come at the right time. So I really apologize, but I can't take this forward. Please convey my apologies to your father also. You can find some other boy who's much better than me, but please leave me so that I can be at the lotus feet of Srinivas Acharya. The girl was very magnanimous and she agreed. And this boy started serving Srinivas Acharya. And he went on to become the great Sri Ramchandra Kaviraj. Sri Ramchandra Kaviraj. Who is Ramchandra Kaviraj? In Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu song, in the last we have, Ramachandra Sangha Mage Narottama Das. That Ramchandra is not Prabhu Ramchandra. It's Ramchandra Kaviraj. And Narottam Das Thakur is saying, Ramchandra Sangha Mage. I want the association of that Ramchandra Kaviraj. Ramachandra Sangha Mage Narottama Das. He becomes the great Ramchandra Kaviraj. And his brother ends up becoming Govinda Das Kaviraj. And who is Govinda Das Kaviraj? Bhajahure mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Durlabhamana Bhajanama Satsange Tarahue Bhava Sindure. The personality who wrote it is Govinda Das Kaviraj, who is the brother of Ramchandra Kaviraj, who became the disciple of Srinivasa Acharya. Now, interestingly, what's the connection in which we are discussing? Ramchandra Kaviraj ended up serving Srinivasa Acharya all his life and became so dear to his spiritual master that he could completely resonate to the heart of his Gurudev. Like in our ISKCON, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was known for someone who could really connect to Srila Prabhupada 100%. Like in some Prabhupada memories, some God brothers, they say, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was so dear to Prabhupada, like the right hand, that if Prabhupada would just lift his finger, Tamal Krishna Maharaj knew what Prabhupada wanted. Whether it is to switch off the fan, whether to switch off the whatever, or to get something, or to get a glass of water, Tamal Krishna Maharaj knew it. If Prabhupada lifted the hand, he knew at what time Prabhupada wanted what. Because he was so much in sync with his spiritual master. And he was very heavy also, Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Bhakti Charu Maharaj in one podcast, he was saying, the God brothers, not in front of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, but his God brothers would very lovingly, behind Tamal Krishna Maharaj's back, they would call him Hot Tamal. Because he was always very hot, Hot Tamal. In a podcast, Maharaj was saying, and he was remembering the old days. So, Ramchandra Kaviraj was like that. Now, one time it so happened that Srinivasa Acharya sat in meditation. And in his meditation, it became 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Eyes are not opening. It's not that he's sleeping. Eyes are closed. Like sometimes in a Bhagavatam class, just like our eyes are closed. This really helps. The moment you say it, those whose eyes were closed, they open up. Like a blossomed flower, it will open up. So his eyes were closed. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, he's not opening his eyes. And the family members, all the locals who were there, they thought, what happened to Srinivasa Acharya? Why is he not opening his eyes? They called Ramchandra Kaviraj. You know your guru better. Do something. He has not eaten last couple of days and he's alive. Why? Because they kept a cotton swab and that was moving. So they understood that Srinivasa Acharya is alive, but he's not responding. What happened? Ramchandra Kaviraj came. Ramchandra Kaviraj closed his eyes in order to understand what his guru is doing and where he is doing. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. He was called to wake him up. Now both are in samadhi. The locals were thinking, my goodness, what is happening? Ek ko bulaya, ek ko jagane ke liye, dono dhyan samadhi mein hai. Both are in their own samadhi. And both are not opening their eyes. It was 7 days, 1 week, they have not eaten anything. Look at the level of their bhajan. We are talking about purity here. Look at the level of bhajan. They are putting prasadam, everything to the side and just absorbed. Now, interestingly, what had happened was, Srimati Radharani had lost her nose ring. Now, some places it says nose ring, some places it says finger ring, some places it says ankle bell. You take the essence, whatever it is. Whichever ring it is, we just take the essence. Radharani had lost her ring and she had asked her Sakhis to find. And all the Sakhis were finding. In Radhakund, Shamkund, Govardhan, this, that, everywhere they were finding. And Srinivasa Acharya was in his eternal form and he was also helping Radharani find. Now Ramchandra Kaviraj, who went into meditation, he also went to his eternal form. Now he's also helping his Gurudev, who is helping his Gurudev, who's helping his Gurudev, and finally are helping Lalita Sakhi, who's helping Srimati Radharani. All for one ring. nose ring of Srimati Radharani. So much seva bhav, so much service attitude. And mind you, these services were not assigned. It's not like a Sunday feast. Excel sheet nikla, aapka ye service hai. It's not assigned. It's not assigned. It's just natural. Now they are serving. And eventually, Ramchandra Kaviraj finds the nose ring in the stem of a lotus flower. You have the lotus flower stem. In that stem, the ring was there. And he picks up the ring. And out of etiquette, he doesn't go straight to Radharani, he gives it to his Gurudev. Because he knows Radharani through his Gurudev. So out of etiquette, he doesn't go ahead, gives it to his Gurudev. Gurudev gives to his Gurudev, and it goes all the way to Srimati Radharani. Radharani gets her ring back. Radharani says, who found it? And they said, oh, Srinivas Acharya. Srinivas Acharya said, no, my disciple Ramchandra Kaviraj. And Srimati Radharani was so happy that the betel nut that she had, she removed that betel nut and gave it to Srinivas Acharya and Ramchandra Kaviraj. And both of them being in their eternal feminine form, they received the betel nut from Srimati Radharani and tied it to their pallu. And after 7 days when they opened their eyes, in their this world form that they had, the masculine form, in their dhoti was the betel nut that Srimati Radharani gave in their meditation. And for the locals, you can imagine, for 7 days they had no idea. For you and I, we know the pastime, so in 2 minutes, we got reconciled. For them, 7 days, it was Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. What's happening? But why are we discussing this? This is the purity of our Gaudiya Dhara. Whether it's Srinivas Acharya on one side, Ramchandra Kaviraj on the other side. We are not behind magicians. We are not behind Hath Ki Safai. We are not behind Hath Ki Safai. That magicians can do. We are behind purity. Uncompromising purity, getting the lotus feet of Chaitanya and Nityananda. When Srila Prabhupada was coming to America and Srila Prabhupada was there on the Jaladuta, Srila Prabhupada writes a song. Boro Kripa Hoile Krishna, Adhamera Prati. And Prabhupada writes a song not knowing who will read it in the future. He didn't know ISKCON is going to come up. He wrote it from his heart. And in that song, Srila Prabhupada writes, he is now about to reach Boston Harbor. How many have been to Boston Harbor, the place where Prabhupada landed? Commonwealth Pier. It's a very wonderful place. If you have not been there, the place where Prabhupada first kept his lotus feet in America, Boston Harbor. Prabhupada writes a song, and in that Srila Prabhupada writes, Tava kripa hoile mora adhamera prati. He says, my dear Lord, Tava kripa hoile, if you shower your mercy, then whatever I attempt to speak in America, Shuniya sabara shoka dukha je guchive, then those who will come to hear my class, their shokha and dukha will be taken away, my dear Krishna, if you shower your mercy. Tava kripa hoile mora. I don't know anything, my dear Lord, but if you shower your mercy, then my katha will become shuddha. And the Supreme Lord, by your mercy, those people who will come to attend my class, their hearts will be purified. Then Prabhupada writes, my dear Lord, Ane yacho jadi prabhu, amake nachaite, nachao prabhu, nachao se mate. Prabhupada writes, my dear Krishna, Ani acho jadi prabhu, you have brought me to America. I don't know why, Krishna, you have brought me to America. What is a sannyasi going to do in America? No one in the history has ever done it. Why did you bring me? Ani acho jadi prabhu, I don't know what to do. Amake nachaite, Krishna, make me dance. Nachao prabhu, nachao se mate. My dear Krishna, I am the puppet, you are the puppeteer. Just like the puppeteer, the way he moves his hands, the puppet moves. The puppet has no independence on its own, but the way puppeteer moves, the puppet moves. Prabhupada says, my dear Krishna, you are the puppeteer, I am the puppet. Make me dance, my dear Lord, make me dance. Kashtera puthali jata, আমাকে নাচাইতে, নাচাও নাচাও প্রভু, নাচাও se mate. My dear Krishna, I am your puppet. Make me dance. I am ready for anything, Krishna. Just make me dance. Dear devotees, Prabhupada didn't know that you and I will be sitting here and reading his work. He didn't do it for some Facebook like or some reel or anything. He did it selflessly. He did it selflessly. This is pure bhakti. Not the bhakti that is compromised with social media views and comments and reels. That is not bhakti. That bhakti where videos are there, we are doing, and otherwise we are not doing, that's not bhakti. Bhakti is like our Goswamis, Rupa and Raghunath, like our Prabhupada. Where there is social media or not, they were still steadfast. Because our audience is not how many are watching, etc. Indra Prabhu would say, our audience is Krishna. He is the audience. Prabhupada then finally writes, Bhakti nahi veda nahi, name khup dharo, bhakti vedanta nama, ebe sarthaka koro. Prabhupada was given the name Bhakti Vedanta. And Prabhupada writes, Bhakti nahi veda nahi, hame na bhakti hai, na hame ved pata hai. Who is saying Prabhupada? My goodness. Look at his humility. He says, Bhakti nahi veda nahi, name khup dharo. And I'm holding this big name. What is the big name? Bhakti Vedanta Nama. My Guru gave me this name, Bhakti Vedanta, but I am not fit for this. He is saying out of his humility. But then he writes to Krishna, Na ebhe sarthaka koro. But Krishna, if you bless, then this name will be worthwhile. It will find its success. Krishna, if you bless me, then I will really be Bhakti Vedanta. Look at his humility. And he's writing in a ship, in a cargo ship. It's not that he's preparing for a Sunday feast and presenting. He's writing in a cargo ship after multiple heart attacks. Having no one. His son, Vrindavan Chandra De, Prabhu, he writes in his memories, he says, when I bid farewell to my father, when Prabhupada was getting into the Jaladuta, when I bid farewell to my father, I had tears flowing from my eyes because I didn't know whether I will see my father ever again. Because in the 1960s, no one went to America on a ship, that to the Atlantic. No one even thought of. He thought, why is my father doing this? He's 70 years old. Why is he doing this? Why don't he just come back? Stay here in Radha Damodar Mandir. Be happy. He said, I didn't know whether my father was going to come back. But I was proud of my father that he was doing something that no one had ever envisioned. And he said, when I got to know what my father has done, I was so happy. When I got to know he was the chosen Senapati Bhakta, my father was a Senapati Bhakta. Vrindavan Chandra De Prabhu, he writes, my heart was pumping with joy that my father was the one who was chosen by Gauranga Mahaprabhu to preach this. This is purity. We are not behind Hath Ki Safai. We are behind purity. There may be yogic siddhis, but that's not our goal. Our goal is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu means following Rupa and Raghunath Goswami, which is purity. So this is the sixth, which is Sai. We go to the seventh, which is Daravesh, or also called as Darabesh. So if you're Bengali, then it will be Darabesh. If you're normal like you and I, so Daravesh. Can someone read the first and second quickly?
The Daravesha or Darbesh are the gurus of the Auls, Bauls and Sais.
So if you remember what we said, Aul, Baul, Darvesh, Sai are all one category. Now Darvesh, they are the Acharya for Aul, Baul and Sai. They are like, it's progressive category, but Darvesh are like the spiritual master. Uttamadhikari, yes. They are like the Uttamadhikari, self-proclaimed Uttamadhikari. They are like the gurus, yes.
They are supposed to have reached the highest realization through
Supposed.
The tantric sadhana that is practiced by these cults. Darbesh is a Subi term. It comes from the Persian dar or dur and beaten or to beg, meaning one who begs from door to door.
Darvesh means he goes from door to door. So in our Vedic understanding, we say Madhukari. Why? Because Madhu means honey, and the honeybees go from flower to flower to flower. So those who are doing Madhukari, they go from door to door like a honeybee to beg. Madhavendra Puri was like that. He was Madhukari. And it's also explained as Madhavendra Puri was in his journey of finding the Supreme Lord. He goes from Madhukari to Ayachaka Vritti. So one is Madhukari, where you go and beg. Agar kuch mila to wo khayenge. Ayachaka Vritti is, I will not beg. If Krishna wants, he will come to me and give. It's very, very advanced. Ayachaka Vritti. If Krishna wants, he will give me. If Krishna doesn't give me, he doesn't want me to eat. It's not something that a normal person can implement. Even Madhukari is not someone normal can implement. It requires very high level of spiritual realization. So Madhavendra Puri and our Goswamis were all Ayachaka Vritti and Madhukari. So Darvesh basically means he who goes from house to house, door to door to beg. And they are the spiritual master, or Prabhuji rightly said, they are like the so-called, supposedly they are the Uttam Adhikaris of owls, bowls and sais. Now they will also be dressed very similar, because spiritual master means disciple is getting from spiritual master only. Mahajano yena gatasya pantha. They are following their spiritual master, so they are also like fakir type, Muslim gown and things like that, and different Rudraksha beads and khichdi of Gaudiya and Sufism and Islam, like confusion, absolute confusion. Now it's interesting, if you remember, in the owls, they said they are worshipable, or they feel that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also an owl. In the bowls, they felt Advaita Acharya is also a bowl. Any guesses for Darvesh whom they feel is their Sampradayik Acharya? Any guess, whatever you feel, whatever name. Nityananda Prabhu, okay. Huh? Gadadhar? Gadadhar Pandit, okay. Any other name? Kuch bhi bolo. Srinivas Acharya, okay. Because we discussed Srinivas Acharya. Good logic, no? That's on point, okay. Can I give a small hint? The letter starts from S. Okay, good guess. Another S. Who's the brother of Rupa Goswami? Sometimes you have to really give the hint. Sanatan Goswami, they feel their spiritual master is Sanatan Goswami. The Darvesh, they feel that the highest Darvesh to follow is Sanatan. And where do they get the reference? From Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, if it is not read in Sajatiya Ashray Snigdha Sadhu Sangha Swatovare, if it's not read in like-minded association, then our bhakti will be Gaur Premanande. It will go for a toss. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, Yahara Bhagavata pada Vaishnavera sthane ekante ashray karo Chaitanya Charane. If you want to study Bhagavatam, study in like-minded association. This is why it's very important to be respectful to other Sampradayas, but having our loyalty and chastity to our Gaudiya Dhara. We don't criticize. Why? Because purity and sadhus can be there in any Sampradaya. There are sadhus, there are pure devotees in every Sampradaya. No one is ruling them out. But our goal is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our goal is Srila Rupa Goswami. Our goal is Prabhupada. And that's why we are all sitting here. And if that is our goal, it's important that we should seek out for that like-minded Gaudiya Dhara association, so that we are not swayed away. Because otherwise we will think, oh, this is very similar to what Prabhupada preaches. And very easily we can go off track, not realizing when we have swayed into the tracks of Apasampradaya. Now, these people who are there, Darvesh, for them, they say, Sanatan Goswami is their spiritual guide. Now, Prabhupada translates something very interesting. Prabhupada calls Darvesh as hippie. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, he translates Darvesh straight away as hippie. If you see here, they look like Darvesh or hippie. Straight away. Why? Because Prabhupada was writing, it was America, they understood hippie, Daravesh means hippie, straight away. No confusion. Like in Hindi they would say, right, Chidi baat no bakwas. Daravesh means hippie. And it's interesting, so I will go back, that when Srila Prabhupada came here to the US, initially, one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada that, Swamiji, how was your preaching like? What was the experience like when you started preaching? Because no one ever did it. And Prabhupada to that he said, preaching in America was very easy. It was very simple. So the reporter was stunned. Simple? How is it simple? Prabhupada said, when I went to America, they were already following Sarva Dharman Parityaja. They were already living in the streets. I went and gave them Mamekam Sharanam Braja. They were already renounced living on the streets. First half of the verse they already did. Second half I gave. The reporter was like, my goodness. Prabhupada had this amazing ability to connect humorously, but also present the Siddhanta. And it's very difficult. Like if you see, when we are asked, we think. It takes time to process. Prabhupada would shoot arrows like anything. And he would have nice answers, witty answers every time. So there, Prabhupada, he writes, Daravesh means they are like hippie. Now what's the connection? Why do the Daravesh people feel that Sanatan Goswami is their savior, merciful master or whatever? When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling from one place to another, we know Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they were working for the Nawab Hussain Shah, who was a Muslim ruler. And they were working as Dabir Khas and Sakhar Malik. That were the names that were given, Muslim names. Dabir Khas, Sakhar Malik, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. They had changed their names, or the king had changed, and they were working as finance ministers and prime minister and so on and so forth. When they heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were so enamored by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they didn't want to work for Nawab Hussain Shah, but they wanted to give their life to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, if they go and tell the Nawab is not going to accept because they were the key people in the kingdom. If you go and tell your employer, I want to leave you, why? Because I want to do Bhajananandi. It doesn't really work that way. But Rupa and Sanatan who were there, they wanted to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but now they cannot tell Nawab Hussain Shah. So somehow Rupa Goswami and Anupam, who is Anupam? Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami and Anupam were three brothers. Anupam's son is Jiva Goswami. That's the connection. Rupa, Sanatan and Jiva. Rupa, Sanatan and Anupam. Anupam's son is Jiva Goswami. Now Anupam and Rupa Goswami somehow sneak out from the kingdom and they run away. Left behind is Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami says, you leave, because if all three leave, it will be a problem. You leave, I will take care. He is the older brother. He made the younger brother go. I will take care. Whatever it is, I will see. Rupa Goswami said, okay. But Rupa Goswami is also very intelligent. Because they were the finance ministers, they had a lot of gold coins. And money speaks. Gaur Govinda Maharaj would say, money, brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. Where there is money, we see people bend very easily. So Rupa Goswami had money and he had a lot of gold coins. Of the 100% of the gold coins that he had, he gave it to Vaishnavas for charity and this and that. But he kept a certain 25% of those gold coins, he kept it with the shop owner. And told the shop owner, tell Sanatan that I have given these gold coins. That's it. And Sanatan will understand. So it's all encrypted message. Full Chaitanya Charitamrita all encrypted. You tell this much, aage wala samajh jayega. So that shopkeeper says, okay. Now, Rupa and Anupam leave. Sanatan Goswami puts a sick leave. He puts a sick leave. So this parampara is there from that time only. Even if you are not sick to put sick leave, I was, before coming here, so on Sunday, so Monday was Sharad Purnima. So on Monday, devotees were all, so we have Radha Govind at our home. So devotees were all painting. So my wife was there and some other devotees, Nityan Vilas Prabhu. They were all doing the painting and we were doing Ashtasakhi and Radha Govinda for Sharad Purnima in the temple. So all night they were doing and next day they were tired. So next day morning, I saw this devotee who orchestrated the plan. I saw him in the temple. And he works for Costco, and he's like a principal software developer like that, and he has teams under him. And next day morning, Mangalarti, nicely he's singing Mangalarti, he's dancing in the temple, Darshanarti. I said, Prabhuji, Costco, you don't want to? Prabhuji, sick leave. I said, sick? He said, I did painting, I got sick. Sick leave. And nicely, first day of Kartik, he's dancing in front of Radha Krishna, Radha Neela Madhav. So we would have also done at some point sick leave, even if you're not sick. For the higher purpose, sometimes we have to do that. Oh, Krishna. So Sanatan Goswami did. He put a sick leave. And now he was sitting in his kutir, but he was not sick. So the king, he sent his ministers. It was a couple of days, and Sanatan Goswami didn't return. He sent his ministers. The ministers went inside his kutir, and Sanatan Goswami with a few like-minded people was studying Bhagavatam inside. Sick leave chal raha hai, andar baith ke, Shri Shukha Uvach, they're studying Bhagavatam. The minister came and said, what is this? You told us you're sick. And he called the king. The king came. King was very angry. He imprisoned Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami was put behind jail and he was shackled so that he cannot run away. Now the king, being the king, he would go from one place to another. He had other duties also. At one point, Sanatan Goswami looked at the jailkeeper and said, I have a proposal for you. The jailkeeper said, what is it? He said, I will give you 5,000 gold coins, which is almost triple the salary of what he was getting. Diwali bonus. Straight away, Diwali bonus. He said, I will give you 5,000 gold coins. That's a lot of money. You're talking 500 years back. So the jailkeeper said, what am I supposed to do? Sanatan Goswami says, free me. Let me go. So basically, he was bribing him. The jailkeeper said, well, the king will know, Nawab Hussain Shah will know, my job is at stake. What will I do? Sanatan Goswami says, 7,000 gold coins. He said, that is nice. 7,000 looks nice. He said, what am I supposed to do? Sanatan Goswami says, just free me. He said, but the king will know and he will come at me. Sanatan Goswami says, go and tell the king that Sanatan wanted to attend nature's call, and he went to the farm or he went to the field to attend nature's call, and then he ran away from there. He jumped into the water. So the jailkeeper said, well, the king may not believe. No, you'd also tell him when he jumped into the water, he was shackled, which means he will definitely drown. He will not survive. You tell him this. And you will get 7,000 gold coins. Your job will also be at stake. You're getting bonus also. And over and above, I give you an assurance that I will become a darvish and I will go to Makkah. I will go to Mecca and I will become a darvish, and what will happen? You get money and you get spiritual piety also. Because you are helping me achieve my goal. Why did Sanatan Goswami say Mecca and darvish? Because they were Muslims. The jailkeeper was Muslim. So, makhan laga rahe the. I will become darvish. I will go to Mecca. You will get benefit. Plus 7,000 gold coins. Plus job intact. He said, the jailkeeper said, okay, that seems good. And he freed Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami sprinted like Usain Bolt. Straight away sprinted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is what Sanatan Goswami tells the jailkeeper. Please kindly repeat. Kichu bhaya nahi ami e deshe naraba. Kichu bhaya nahi ami e deshe naraba. Darvesh haya ami Makka ke jaeba. I will become Darvesh and I will go to Makkah. So you please leave me. Chaitanya Charitamrita is very interesting. And the jailkeeper accepts. And Sanatan Goswami leaves. But where does he get the gold coin from? What Rupa Goswami had given to the shop owner. So look at Rupa Goswami's genius. He knew what may come. And he made sure that Sanatan has the required money. And now Rupa, Sanatan, both of them leave. Go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Never to return to Nawab Hussain Shah. Happily forever after. This is really the happily forever after. They leave their job and never to come back. So the Darabesh called Shadley, take this as Sanatan Goswami's most profound instruction. We'll take one more, just 2 minutes, and then we will end. The eighth one is Neda. What is it called? Neda. The word Neda indicates a man with shaven head, and Nedi means women with shaven head. So Neda, Nedi. Like we were saying, Gundu. Right? So like that. So this is Gundu Sampradaya. Shaven head men. Telugus are, we didn't know our Sampradaya is also here. Oh, Krishna. So, Neda means shaven head, and Nedi means? Nedi means lady and shaven head. And the origin is Buddhism. They are Buddhist monks who are male and female, they are shaven heads. Now, interestingly, during the time of Nityananda Prabhu's son, that is Veerabhadra, you remember we spoke about Nityananda Vamsh during Jat Gosai? Veerabhadra, he converted all of these Neda Nedis. They were all living scattered, live-in and all those things. He got all of them married, initiated them, made them chant, Tilak, Kanti, and they become proper Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So from Neda and Nedi, they become proper Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But eventually what happened, as time unfolded, some of them reverted back to their old practice. So now what happened? It became a mix of Buddhism and Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Neda Sampradaya. The Buddhism of the past, the Gaudiya Vaishnavism that Veerabhadra Goswami gave, and now it's Khichdi. Little Buddhism, little Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Na ghar ka. So they didn't follow their Guru there, they didn't follow their superior, and it became a complete mess. That's the Neda Nedi. So the Neda Nedi cult is said to be still visible around the Navadvip area, where they are indistinguishable from other Shavan Vaishnavas wearing tilak and white cloth. So imagine you go to Navadvip, and when you see white cloth and shaven head and tilak, you will feel they are also ISKCON. But actually there are some other sampradaya. So it's very important that we do research before associating. So having said this, we humbly stop here with 8 upper sampradayas that we have finished. Can we quickly share what the 8 are? First was Jat Gosai, Smarta Brahman, Aula, Sahajiya, Baula, Sai, Daravesh, Neda. So with this we end. Now we meet on Saturday evening. It's a home program where we do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Should be possible because first day we did 1. Yesterday we did 3. Today we did 4. Next day 5. So we are increasing. Kanishta Madhyam Uttam. We are increasing. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Let's give a big round of applause for Prabhu. Prabhu, would you like to take any questions?
I think we'll stop at 8:45, and tomorrow is also working day.